IVM.
All right. Hello and welcome to Football Portal. My name is Saru and I have not been in the news for a week. And to fill me in, I have my friend Yash. What's up, Yash?
Hey man, all good, all good.
All right. So here's the thing, right? I go away for a few days. You get the Champions League draw done.
Yes.
And then you guys it up. What happened there, man? I have not been following the news, but what happened?
So, a lot of our suspicions about UEFA being corrupt are
True.
true because PSG, of course, were in the same group as Man City and ended up second. So there was an opportunity for them to schedule a Ronaldo versus Messi match to draw in all the eyeballs, and that's what they did. They messed up. So the mess up initially started with United somehow drawing Villarreal, or the other way around. Villarreal finished second in United's group, so their ball was picked up first, and then they picked up the Manchester United ball, which the ball should not have been there in the pot in the first place, because Manchester United, being in the same group, cannot face Villarreal again in the round of 16.
What is going on? So you're saying that there was errors in basically placing those balls in the right bowl.
Yeah. So what we find out that there was an external helper helping some external agency helping UEFA with these, they're doing the filters that no two kind of teams from the same country can face each other in this round and other such crap. But this was such a basic error. It was like Villarreal and Manchester United were in the same group. They should not have come out, and that happened. Then I don't know, that part of the video is missing. Whether they put the ball back into the Manchester United box or not, I don't know.
What do you mean part of the video was missing? Oh my God, there's like conspiracy also.
No, conspiracy is 100% there. But eventually, the reason why the draw was done again completely was when it was a turn to pick out Atleti's opponent. Manchester United should have been there in the box, but the Manchester United ball was not picked.
Oh.
Was not put in the bowl, basically, for Ashraf to pick out. So, yeah, so these irregularities were noticed and there was a big outrage and the draw was done again.
Who noticed these irregularities?
Everyone. It was an open, this thing, right? They had called Ashraf specially to do the draw, and people saw Manchester United name come out and immediately everyone was like, this cannot be done. And when it came to Manchester United ball not being put into the draw when it was supposed to, when Atleti were drawn out for the first time, that was picked on the video. That part of the video went viral. People observed that, when that attendant was picking the balls out of the separate, what is it called? The bowls.
Yeah.
He missed out on the Manchester United bowl. So,
dude, why? Oh God. Whenever I've seen this draw, it seems like such an archaic way of doing things. Like, I'm sure there's a better way to get this done, right?
Yeah, they do it physically, because if it gets done by some computer, then everybody will say it's rigged.
Of course it is rigged, even physically, as we have seen.
Of course, there's the hot balls and the cold balls theory and all that. But, sure, they can find a simpler way. And I fundamentally don't know why the country barrier is there in this round, because that complicates things.
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway, so there's a draw done again, and we finally have the round of 16 matches.
Yeah.
So it's not Messi versus Ronaldo, it's Ramos versus Real Madrid, right? PSG versus Real Madrid.
Yeah. And Madrid were not very happy because they first had Benfica and they were the first draw out of the bowl, and there were murmurs from the Real camp that all the mistakes happened after we got picked. So why don't you continue to draw, excluding us?
That seems like such a Real Madrid thing to say. Oh, what losers. Oh God. But they're playing PSG. It should not be very hard for Madrid. They're in such good form.
No, but come on. The matches are in February. It can completely flip. And PSG have the players to
It all depends. If my man Neymar, feels like up for it instead of his sister's birthday. That's all. Manchester City, I think they'll reach the final this season also. They're playing Sporting Lisbon.
Yeah, man. I mean, their luck, which they enjoy in the English knockout competitions, seems to have followed them here. I think they had an easy draw in the first draw as well, and the first draw which was discarded, they had an easy team. I don't remember which, but now Sporting Lisbon, they'll just brush away. And of course, there's a dud draw in there somewhere. I think Ajax are playing someone.
Wait,
And
Benfica Ajax, that'll
yeah,
actually be a good game. What do you
it'll be a
mean?
good game, but
Draw?
I mean, I have a hunch that Man City will face their winner in the quarters.
You don't think Man City will face the winners of Chelsea versus Lille, which is the only game which just came back the same way?
Yeah.
All right. There's Atletico Madrid versus Manchester United.
Yeah.
You're saying that the first draw was supposed to be this, right? Atletico versus Manchester United.
It could have been this, but this didn't happen because the Manchester United ball was just not there. In the option just wasn't there.
I know. So it eventually happened.
It eventually happened, and this is, apart from the Real PSG game, this is the one to look forward to.
I know, but dude, it's not the same Atletico of like 3-4 years ago. Those guys have just kind of lost the plot. This is like a golden opportunity for Manchester United to lose in the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I mean, they should ideally make it out of this match. I mean, United, I think, have the quality to do it, and they are Ronaldo's favorite team in the Champions League to play against.
Yeah, I saw that video. I was on a break, but that video though I saw where the fans of Atletico like, go back to Italy, you small boy, and things like that, and then he beats them. Okay, there is Inter versus Liverpool. It all looks like a standard round of 16 draw. Nothing like. I think the best match to look forward to will probably be Benfica Ajax.
Yeah, it'll be a fun game.
And Villarreal Juventus, because Juventus is just crap and I don't like them.
Okay, I mean, I think the 3 English teams should make it, or maybe even 4 English teams should make it to the quarters. It'll be a domestic affair.
Once it reaches quarters, then
then I think, who are Bayern playing? I think Bayern.
Salzburg.
Yeah, come on. Bayern are, I think, a shoe-in for the semis, whoever they face.
God, the winner of Benfica Ajax have so much pressure to either play Bayern or Manchester City. Yeah, so that was the draw. I don't know. I didn't really see the Europa draw or the Conference League draw, but did that happen or we have no idea?
Yeah, it happened. And so because of the Conference League, the Europa League has fewer teams this season. So the teams that finished on the top of their group in the Europa League skip around. There's like a playoff round between the second place teams and the third place teams of the Champions League. Right.
Oh, okay.
So Barcelona are playing Napoli. That's the thing. That's the.
I forgot that Barcelona are in Europa. Yeah, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. I'm elated. I love it, and I feel happy that David Moyes' West Ham are through to the next round, but Barcelona have to play a playoff.
You know, Leicester is playing a team called Randers.
Aren't Leicester out already? I think they're out.
There is a game on 18 February at 1:30 a.m. Leicester City versus Randers.
Okay, fair enough. But the funny thing is that yesterday or day before, Barcelona played a match called the Diego Maradona Cup.
With Boca, right?
Boca Juniors, yeah. And Barcelona don't even celebrate Maradona. I mean, if any team, it should have been Napoli in that cup.
Yeah, but
I mean, things you have to do for money when you're rinsed.
Yes, talking about things you have to do for money. Nou Camp. When are rich Indians going to marry at Nou Camp?
Immediately, dude. I hope there's a Himesh concert there very soon. I don't have to say it.
Oh man, what a week it's been. Why now weddings are going to be organized at Nou Camp? Like, what the hell?
I mean, weddings on football pitches are fun, man. I mean, I've been to a few weddings at the Cooperage ground.
Really?
Yeah.
Was a football thrown at the dessert counter?
Yes,
I think that happened when Baru and I were watching a match at Cooperage. And then they had to go and request the caterer, ball though, bhaiya, please. This was an I-League match, not even any match. Oh man. All right, let's get to Premier League.
Mm-hmm.
There are wholesale postponements, cancellations. Mm-hmm. I have a fear that things are going to stop for at least 2-3 weeks very, very soon. Are you like also getting the same feelings?
Yeah, I'm getting the same feelings, but I mean, I don't know. This is odd. Like last year, things were much worse, but they played in front of empty crowds. Now I don't think public places are being shut in the UK, but somehow, but it's exactly the other way around. It's the football that has stopped. I don't
Yeah,
know what's going on.
but that's because these footballers were in this bio bubble, like literally last year. I don't think they follow those rules to the exact T nowadays,
Right,
because
right.
they obviously go to restaurants and everything. And when they were playing football, then they had to just go home and or be at the club. And so that obviously played a part. But man, like before I got on, there were enough matches which just got postponed, right?
The United Brentford game got postponed today. I just there was an update
I
saying
read the headline that
Burnley.
COVID outbreak at Carrington. So what's the
Yeah, yeah.
news on that? Who is this outbreakers?
Like, we don't know. There are no player names that are out. Maybe it's the staff because the staff outnumbers but the players
Like if
by quite
Mike
a bit.
Phelan gets it, like
Yeah, who
everyone should
cares?
be happy. Like okay, like at least Ralph Rangnick will be happy. What was that answer? I read like a snippet of an answer of what Mike Phelan does, and Ralph Rangnick had no idea what Mike Phelan does.
But that's okay. I mean, we knew that he's like an admin figurehead. So,
But wasn't it surprising that Phelan is not even on the training pitch? So what is he like writing checks for like petty cash?
that and maybe he watches or does some TV analysis and makes dossiers or something.
Oh, all right. Brighton Wolves, that goes on.
No, I mean matches did go on, man. Yesterday, our grandfather got thrashed by his son.
Yeah, what happened, dude? Leeds this season are not really like, I think, are they already tired? What is going on? Why are they not the Leeds of last season, which was this fun, open team? They're just open now.
They're just open. I don't think they've massively upgraded. They still have those championship level players all over the pitch. And
Yeah, why
I mean they had their whatever their bounce last season. Now the dreaded second season syndrome is catching up with them, I think.
Okay. So the another game, I think the Spurs game is postponed, right?
Yeah. Spurs have played like 14 games, so they're quite behind on the schedule because of this.
You know, all this bloody outbreak at football club started only from when Conte came to Spurs. I'm not saying causality, and all of that, but that is an angle which I think someone should take care of.
Absolutely.
So the question, this is a little off topic. How does one prepare for FPL in such scenarios?
Oh God,
Since you and I are bottom of the table in our mini league, I think you are the right person to ask.
I don't know. I think this is the time to take wild hits, to take like minus 20 or minus 24 and change your team entirely.
To like one team which is playing, like fill it with Chelsea players.
Yeah.
Chelsea has no COVID outbreak. I mean, fingers crossed, but man, that club is run like really well. I think.
Well, there were rumors, right, a couple of days back, and goodness knows. I mean, they should pray that the team that they're playing doesn't secretly have.
If the rumor is that Jorginho has COVID, it is definitely started by Chelsea's fans only. And they only would have done that. Yeah, what else is going on, man? It's so confusing. Why are they midweek fixtures? Don't they want rest? Like, geez, even before this festive season starts, they're just going crazy with football.
But is the festive season as crowded? This really seems like the festive season because of so many.
Okay, let me tell you, there are matches on the 26th. Okay. Then after that, there is matches on the 28th and 29th and 30th and 31st.
So it's the same damn thing, man.
Exactly. So why are they playing midweek fixtures? Like they're just not giving any break. You know what Mourinho did? He said I had like one day off. He attended the mass. He went shopping, and then he went for some award which his daughter was getting. It's like managers in Premier League don't even get that break. Oh, guys, man, what do we talk then? Yes, if there's like matches getting cancelled.
This stuff is difficult for podcasters like us.
Okay, so why don't you fill me in, right? Because I did not watch any game.
Right.
Let's start with what games you watched on the weekend.
Oh, I watched Arsenal. Like I'm assuming this is the start of another Arteta wave. I think There are some decent fixtures that he has, and after all the outrage and Arteta out nonsense that was going on, they had a pretty good result, and the performance was also good. One of the goals that they scored, where it practically started from Ozil. From Ramsdale.
How old was this goal?
Yeah. From Ramsdale. So from the goalkeeper, it started, and they were like 6-7 passes in the middle, and it was a very sleek goal. And Southampton is an okay team. They're one of the decent teams in the Premier League. So this is a good result for them. And we'll soon see, one half of Arsenal fans abuse the other half of Arsenal fans saying, "Look, we told you he was good. Believe in the revolution." Blah blah. So.
But the thing I'm more interested about Arsenal is that it seems Aubameyang is not playing a game on Friday because he got a tattoo or something. Like, what is that?
Yeah, he came in late. The full story is not very interesting. Obviously, he lied to the club. He went and got a tattoo in a different country, and now he's sacked from his captaincy. Like, he got his captaincy in the first place from Xhaka, who was sacked. Now they have sacked him as well. Now we don't know who the Arsenal club captain is.
He was sacked from captaincy because he came late?
Yep.
Man, Arteta rules with the iron fist. Is it?
And also because of lying about his location and stuff, which is, I guess, fair enough in these times.
Wow. Is his name Adolf Arteta?
Arteta needs an excuse to get rid of him, right? Because
he's
been stinking the place up since that FA Cup win 2 years back.
Okay.
Back, whatever.
Yeah. Other thing is, from all my Chelsea buddies, I hear that Chelsea played so badly and still beat Leeds 3-2 because of Jorginho's 2 goals, and how we realize how fundamental Antonio Rudiger is to this project. Man, but Chelsea have been not playing very well for the last month. They're somehow just getting some results. But do you think that the pressures of being in a title challenge is getting to them? I think so.
Yeah, the performance was very, very tepid. The goals, of course, you're being sarcastic. Those were penalties.
Yeah.
And it was it was a terrible game with soft penalties. And
there were controversies in that also.
Yeah, I really don't want to go into them because it's the last penalty. He puts some pressure on Jorginho from behind, and Jorginho falls down, and he doesn't get the ball, so whatever. We never know how much.
That must be a true penalty. If Jorginho won the penalty...
Sorry, no. I meant Rudiger.
Then it couldn't be dodgy. But Jorginho is the honest kind of a guy, So, if he won, yes. One thing I want to say is Harry Kane. Clearly, he didn't play on the weekend, and he was so invested in Lewis Hamilton, right? Oh God, this guy, why can't he just score some damn goals? He's such a good player, instead of indulging in petty politics.
Yeah, but he's in bad form. Nobody knows what's going to happen with him, and I guess when nothing works for you, you turn to nationalism, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, as he is now, you support him and it'll help you.
Oh, when nothing works for you, turn to nationalism. That sounds familiar. Why is Benitez not yet sacked at Everton? I am just seeing the scores. It's Crystal Palace 3, Everton 1. Dude, that guy, he's just he's the Spanish Sam Allardyce.
He's the dead man walking. I think he was there. I don't think he cares. He just... I think he lives in Liverpool, right? He's been always living in Liverpool even after he got sacked.
Wife and
yeah, so he's just settled there. He took a job over there based on his prior reputation, and he's just earning his dough. This Everton team looked pretty decent with Ancelotti last season, but they're terrible this year.
They didn't. You are saying that in retrospect because Benitez is so bad. The last thing before we take a break, Newcastle. Oh God, they again lose to Leicester. Now they're playing Liverpool. Will we ever be happy?
Our club should just fake a COVID outbreak till
yes, and they had the opportunity.
Yeah, they still have the opportunity. They should go ahead. They should claim. I'm sure Newcastle is a big city, and some people must have
Yeah, I'm
Rona.
sure Jonjo Shelby will be up for it.
Yeah, so
Like the entire festive period. Just
the entire festive period, just claim, it's too dangerous to play, and then in Jan, just buy a new team.
You think that's the plan of the Saudis?
Someone should tell them if they don't know.
Okay, we'll message them. Okay, let's
Yes.
take a break right now and let's figure out if there's a game on the weekend, what would we want to watch? So stay tuned to Football Twaddle.
Don't you think that if everyone around you is getting smart, you better be smarter? Hey there, I'm the traveling professor Siddharth Deshmukh, and I'm back with season 2 of my podcast to make you smarter. Smarter with Sid. What's this season's focus about? Well, it's about 10-minute nuggets that will make you stand out at work. It's time to go from smart to smarter. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday and become smarter with Sid.
Welcome back to Football Twaddle. Yes, there's only one player of the week. You choose.
That way. I will.
I choose Jorginho, but I saw the penalties. I didn't even see how the penalties were won. So whatever.
Oh man. So I think I'll choose Mason Mount. He scored a good goal.
Is the bar so low?
No, but it was a pretty good goal, and yeah. So yeah, I mean, it was not a non-penalty goal that he scored in a consequential game because Chelsea need to start winning to be in the title race.
All right. Okay. So the game to look forward to on the weekend. Oh, by the way, Manchester United won 1-0 against some team.
Norwich.
Oh, Norwich only. Okay.
Yeah, fine. I mean, I didn't watch that game, but thankfully so, because it was apparently terrible. Just 1-0 a penalty.
All right. Okay. The games to look forward to on the weekend. There is Tottenham Liverpool. I hope that game happens. Like it is happening, right? Or we have no idea. It's too far off. Yeah,
it's a bit far away. If COVID scare from Tottenham has gone away, then it'll take place.
Okay. There is a WhatsApp message from a friend which is Premier League governing body being too adamant.
And saying what?
Oh, in continuing, I think what they mean is in continuing to play the games. Because in England, supposedly there are 78,000 cases today.
Oh, that's, I mean, in these times, 78,000 doesn't seem like a big number, but whatever. Yeah.
What? Okay, so assume there are games all over the weekend. So what is going to be the one you're going to watch?
I'm going to watch Arsenal Leeds, dude.
Oh, that's going to be
That'll be a good game. It'll be hopefully a good open game because both managers are kind of attacking, and I think this is a Arteta wave about to start, so it'll be fun to ride it. And and our great Bielsa needs to turn around this season. So let's see what's he got.
I'm going to support Leeds in that game. It's not like, I mean, I like Bielsa. He's a good guy. He's an idealist. We always need such people. So we just don't need politicians. But the game I am interested in not watching is Newcastle versus Manchester City.
Yeah. I hope
it's so dreaded.
I hope there's a miracle
think about it.
Of some sort. Especially after this 7-0.
Yeah, they must be tired. Like they should not score. But I think otherwise I'll say Tottenham Liverpool. I want Liverpool to just destroy Conte for that one game. And yeah. Oh, and the last thing we need to talk is this Sergio Aguero.
Yeah, I mean it's a sad way to go out, but what a career! I mean he was one of the rare pure strikers left in the game, and it was always dangerous to. I mean, it always felt that the opponents were in danger when the ball was at his feet in the 18-yard box. So.
Yeah, I think along with Henry, he's probably the greatest Premier League striker. Let's say foreigner category.
Probably, yeah, that's true. I mean, they don't have too many other names that you can take in the same breath.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he was so good for Atletico Madrid, but when he came to City, he was in a different level altogether. Yeah. Man, it's so sad, but yeah, that's what happens when you choose to go to Barcelona. You should just like, oh fuck, they're destroying careers left, right, and center now. Oh man, but yeah, 93-20. Does that hurt you more than anything? Come on, the spectacle was just too much.
Yeah, I mean, at the time it hurt. It hurt quite bad, but it was okay. I mean, next season United came and won the title, so I don't think United fans are really that affected by it anymore.
Yeah. The last thing, do you think Lewis Hamilton fans are not really affected and next season they will just like come and back and win, even though you don't know anything about Formula One, given all the conversation?
Yeah, but I mean, after the countless messages that I've read, one thing I've learned is that Mercedes makes good cars. Formula One as well. So I assume that Lewis will win next season as well.
Man.
Unless I don't know, Red Bull takes a few tips from Ralph Ragnick.
No, Red Bull is a good team, dude. Christian Horner is a great manager, so whatever. Yeah. You didn't watch the race, did you?
No.
Why? What
I don't think I have the time to follow another sport, man.
Dude, there's a volleyball league going to start. How are you going to juggle your time? All right, man. Take care. And hopefully there'll be football this weekend.
Absolutely.
All right. And I am going to watch football this weekend finally again. So yes, take care, guys.
Hey everybody, it's been another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. On Advertising is Dead, Varun Dugirala talks to Divyanshu Damani, co-founder and CEO at Tag Mango. The two discuss how content creators can monetize their content, going beyond the traditional ads and brand deals. On The Habit Coach, Ashton is in conversation with Ashna Modi, clinical psychologist at ASA Wellness. They discuss the habit of deservability and gratitude. On Probation Se Promotion Tak, host Abhinav talks about business networking and teaches us how to enhance those networking skills. On The Longest Constitution, Priya gives us a peek into the history of caste-based discrimination and how our constitution is committed to overcoming that. And on The Musafir Stories, the hosts are joined by author and poet Mihir Vatsa. They discover the plateau town of Hazaribagh. Do follow us on social media. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And also do check out our YouTube channels. We have a number of them. You can get them on ivmpodcast.com/YouTube. And remember, if you're enjoying this show, or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. It really does help us spread the word. And finally, we'd like to thank our sponsors for the network this week, Cred, Bank of Baroda, CoinSwitch, Kuber, Intel, and Oxfam India. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Eventually, you'll see the end of your childhood.
Get accustomed to womanhood.
Enjoy the experience of sisterhood.
Might get to wifehood.
Or not. Choose motherhood.
Or not. You'll learn to define your personhood.
Earn a livelihood.
Change the neighborhood.
And get rid of the falsehood that life post-academia is easy.
So join me, Natasha.
And me, Ayushi.
On a journey from station starting point.
To station, what now?
Next station, Pudin Station. And hopefully, Agla Station, adulthood.
Fresh episodes out every Thursday.